It's almost 12 o'clock in the noon, and I have already explored all the city, all the town, all the alleys. The historical building behind me is the Confucius Temple. I'm just having a rest in the little pavilion. This is the pavilion. After I have a rest, then I'll go to the Confucius Temple. When traveling between various cities in China, in addition to exploring streets and tasting local delicacies, the temples in each city are also important historical sites waiting to be discovered. China has a variety of temples dedicated to different figures, including Taoism, Buddhism, the Dragon King, Yue Fei, and the Guan Yu. Today, we are visiting a Kongmiao temple dedicated to enshrine Confucius. Many ancient temples in China have not been well preserved, with mostly being destroyed by wars or political movements. The Confucius Temple we see today was rebuilt in 2008 due to its dilapidated state. As an ordinary traveler, I admit that newly constructed temples lack the historical atmosphere of old buildings. However, my purpose is simply to document what I see and what I experience only. So let's enjoy the tour. That's pretty much what the Confucius Temple looked like. New architecture. But what I noticed was, because today is like the 6th of June, it's Gaokao, right? The college entry examination period. So that's why I saw people or the main prayers in this Confucius Temple will pray their kids, or the kid come to this Confucius Temple to pray for themselves, to have a good luck for their college entry examination. Because in China, this is a big thing, really big thing. So because Confucius is supposed to be an educator and ideologicalist, whatever you call it, a philosopher. So he supposed to portray himself as Confucius as a wisdom person, right? That's why people believe if you pray towards to Confucius, his wisdom will protect you or bless you to have a good result in the examination, basically. But I think that's pretty much what I'm gonna show you for this Confucius Temple. Getting out from the Confucius Temple, now I'm heading to the Fangtayuan Square Pagoda Garden or something. But between these two touristy places, I'm walking through these white alleys, quite beautiful, and sunshine now. So it reminds me a topic: why would a Chinese national to travel all over China? The reason is very simple. Well, for the majority of the Chinese nationals, if you make a living in any of the cities, and you wouldn't be, got that much of the free time that you can explore its own country, then I have the time, and I'm not really trapped in, returning the debts and these kind of things. So I have the time, and that's why I would like to film everywhere that I have been and share it with you guys. Okay, so this is the second scenic spot that I want to check out in Changshu city, which is this pagoda, and it's a legit one, I would say. 这 is the Fangtayuan Square Pagoda Park, basically. Just to check out the history, it says the pagoda was built initially. The pagoda was built during the Southern Song Dynasty. Sorry. So approximately 1130. So that was during the Southern Song Dynasty, later Song Dynasty. Then in Qing Dynasty, this pagoda was totally burnt out. Its wooden skeleton was all destroyed. So the current one was built during 1980. So that's you always find in China when you go to some so-called historical monument and sightseeing place. It's always rebuilt and renovated. In the modern day, you don't really see the old stuffs. I was expecting if it is possible to see some skeleton was built during the Qing Dynasty or Ming Dynasty. That's very old in China, so don't expect you will find some really ancient one. Probably there is one, like or very few, like the famous terracotta warriors, and those are the Qing Dynasty artifacts, right? But anyway, the park itself, well, the historical building isn't very interesting. But the older generation, they make it as a tea relaxing place. So most of them are relaxing and sitting on a chair, have a chat, and have a cup of tea. Oh, this is a quiet place. Because they're all sitting outside. Wow, a little fountain. This is very typical private garden that you always see in China. Before it was private garden, it was the rich villagers or rich people built this private garden. But now it's definitely owned by the state. The choreography on the walls, I think these are the preserved historical choreography stone carvings. I can't even read. So that's why I'm not able to explain for you guys. So this is a tombstone figure called Ming Dai Wen Zhong, so Ming Dynasty. The stone figure was standing in the graveyard of Wu Nei, an imperial inspector of Ming Dynasty. Is the stone sheep. So it was carved out of a single limestone and is a typical circular engravure of Ming Dynasty. So here's another one. The stone dragon, Southern Dynasty. You barely can see the dragon. It looks like a reptilian. It has this like lizard look like feet. The pavilion behind me, on the other side of the pond, this is actually a tea house. You can see the ladies sitting on the table in this tea house or pavilion tea house, enjoying the tea. There's a stage just behind me. This stage is a performing stage. So in the night, some performers are going to dance at this little stage or singing a local opera, wear the traditional Chinese costume, this kind of thing. Now I'm arriving in the Changshu city wall segment. This is northern gate. But yeah, let's hip on the wall, take an overlook of this old city wall. So the steps are high up. I didn't expect this. I thought this wall is just some low level defensive work, but actually it's not. You have to walk up to the hill. This is what I understand, but it's quite fun. it's a working day, right? And I don't think the Changshu residents and Changshu people, they want to spend 30 RMB and climbing on this wall segment. Although it's a good hitchhiking and to do a sport. So I'm a little bit half and puff, right? But I think majority of the local residents, they are more willing to just sit in the park and let the kids to play around or something. See what I mean? So I think the wall started from the bottom of the hill, and then it goes up to be much higher and higher. I'm doing a little bit work, a little bit aerobic cardio, because this is what I really need. Since I came back to Shanghai, I stopped all my exercises. Sorry, I stopped all my exercises. Usually I run like 5 kilometers a day to improve my health state and also to deal with the hypertension. But these days I just sit at home and cooking food for my wife, and barely get out to do a hitchhiking. So yeah, let's move on. I think this is the highest point of the wall. It's not easy to get this high. I climbed from there almost at least 1 kilometer, but I don't know how high it is. Not 200 meters high maybe. This is the wall get down to the south. So I don't want to get down because that will take a lot of energy to come back. I'm thinking about to release the drone at this point. Then we will have a better view. This is the last spot. It's called Yushanmen, the mountain gate, which is a city gate, look like building. The pity thing is, I was walking around the wall, walking pedestrian, right? I got off the wall and tried to take a footage about this gate. When I tried to get back, the security guard called me, told me they are getting off work, so they closed the door. Then now I have to get down the hill and find another route back to where I came from. Now it's a big job to walk back to where I came from. So the one-day trip in Changshu, Jiangsu province, Suzhou actually, is done. In the morning, we went to some local neighborhood. We went to the wet market. As different as the other cities in the Jiangsu province, the majority of the old neighborhood are destroyed. Changshu keeps a lot of this kind of old neighborhood, which gives me an opportunity to check out the charming of the originated local taste, right? So then we went to Confucius Temple and we went to the Pagoda Park and we check out some of the historical stone carvings in the Pagoda Park. Then we came to this old wall segment, which is a quite long distance wall. I climbed like more than 1 hour and eventually hitched on to the top of the hill. Now I'm just walking back. Hope you will enjoy this video. See you next time.